Today we're going to read aloud a passage from When Stars Are Scattered by Victoria Jameson and Omar Mohammed. This tells the story of two brothers who live most of their lives in a refugee camp in Kenya. They are fleeing from Somalia. Chapter 1. My brother and I live here in a refugee camp in Kenya, in Africa. The camp is called Dadaab. We weren't born here. Hassan and I were born in Somalia. Some people here are from Ethiopia or Sudan or other places in Africa, but we all have one thing in common. We had to leave our homes because we were afraid for our lives. Can you think of a vocabulary word that we have been learning about what people are called when they flee from their home and go to a new country because they're afraid for their lives? Maybe war or persecution is going on? That's right, it's a refugee. Some people who live here hope they'll be sent to America or Canada or some other place to live. Not me. Though I just want the war in Somalia to end so we can go back home to our mom. Our mom will be able to find us there. A little closer. So the brothers are not with their mom. Think about how that would feel. Dadaab is so big. It's actually made up of 3 separate camps. You can take a bus from one camp to another, or you can walk for about 4 hours. There's Hagadera, which is named after the big trees. There's Dekahali, named after I don't know what. I live in Ifo camp, which in English roughly translates to City of Light. Don't let the name fool you. We don't have electricity here. After so many years, with so many people living here, Ifo is more like a city than a camp. We have markets, schools, mosques, a hospital, everything. Remember, a mosque, we were learning about the Muslim religion. A mosque is a place like where Jewish people have temples and Christians have churches. A mosque would be the place of worship that the Muslim religion would go. Refugee camps are supposed to be a temporary place to stay until it's safe to go back home. I guess no one expected the war to last so long, though, because Hassan and I have been here for 7 years. There are a lot of bad parts about living in a refugee camp. There's not a lot of food here, so Hassan and I are always hungry. And it's hot. But for me, one of the worst parts of living in a refugee camp is it's really boring. Every day is basically the same. The first thing I do every day after morning prayers is I fetch water. That can take hours. There's only one water spigot. A spigot is like a faucet for us, what water comes up when we turn the sink. So there's only one water spigot, and it's only open a few hours a day, so there's always a really long line. After that, I clean our tent and make sure anything valuable is hidden away. Then Hassan and I go to Fatuma's tent. She makes us tea. If there's anything to eat, we eat. So how is the daily life of this character different from your daily life and what you do every day? I asked around and I found another pair of pants for you and Hassan. I'm afraid you'll have to wait for shoes. Okay, so that person that's talking is Fatuma. Fatuma is not the character's mother. Wow, thanks, Fatuma. Truth be told, Hassan would rather be pantsless. Put them on! Hi, Omar. Oh, hi, Jerry. That's my best friend, Jerry. I've known him practically my whole life. Jerry used to stay home like me because he was sick. That's how he got his nickname Jerry. It's a name for someone who limps, but now he goes to school with a lot of other kids from our block. Soccer after school, right? Yeah, for sure. I've never gone to school. I've always stayed home to take care of Hassan. I'm the oldest, so it's my job to protect him. but I wonder what school would be like. Come on, let's go to the building pit. Building pit is a nice way to describe this place. Right, building pit. It's really just a puddle where we play in the mud. You have to be creative in a refugee camp. Okay, we are going to stop here because there is another thing that I wanted to bring up. He has to take care of his little brother. He is the oldest one, so he's pretty much the man of the house. There is no house, really. But his brother, he is mute. He doesn't speak at all. So, and Hassan doesn't speak, but he has to take care of him and cannot go to school. Imagine what that would be like to see other people going to school and you not being able to go to school. Does this make you think of any other stories that we have read so far this year? You're right. We read A Long Walk to Water, and one of the characters in that book was Salva Dutt. Now, there is something a little different about Salva. He was in a refugee camp too. He was in Kenya. He was not from Somalia. He was from Sudan. So think about what you know about what you remember from that story. And what do you think? Apply that. What do you think is going to happen in this story? That's all for today. We'll keep reading later. So with this story, I don't know that anyone would object unless it showed the violence in it. In this told from the perspective of a refugee. However, you don't really see the war in the background or any of what's going on in politics in the area. Assumptions about age, I think that they can take care of each other even though that they're young. I don't know that that's an assumption, but I think it's hard for our children to understand how or why that would ever need to happen. And then any questions? So from here, what I would do with the students is a cultural compare and contrast here. And I think that that's how I would use it because we study Africa in 6th grade and culture is a huge part of geography class. Thanks for watching.